All right, my friends, we are back with this beautiful show. Kraai, get your business correct. The dojo is growing. I don't know how much longer I can take. I don't know how much longer I can take. You. I don't know. Pepper Chess, thank you for subscribing. Pepper Chess took a break from us. He's back. And yeah, dojo's growing. We got so many projects now, and too many projects, honestly. But we are slowly doing, just step for step. Latestly, we just created the round robin being open to players outside the dojo. So that's an example of just a small thing we did. Hopefully, to create a culture of classical games that people play online. Okay, let's get into it. We have G-Hit Chess graduating, most helpful aspects of the dojo, playing longer games, game review and annotation. Although I was not able to get any training sparring done to this point, I suspect that these would have also would have appeared on my list as being most helpful. All right, beautiful. Pepper Chess back on the grind. Yeah. So here we go, and Northeastern Pennsylvania, Scranton. There we go, Scranton. Let's give G-Hit Chess a follow here. And President Biden's hometown, or something like that. So 347, looking good. And 432, we're doing okay with the checkmate test. Could be cool to do a tactics test. 50 plus, I'm with you, Bows. I'm with you. We got 85 people now in that 50 plus club. That's pretty amazing. All right. And then he's going to be a heat map hero. As you can see, the heat map is looking pretty good over here for G-Hit. Does G-Hit have a game? We got loads of games. Boom. Cue the Office theme, right? Because the Office is Scranton or something too. All right. Yeah. Okay, so first of all, do we got a time graph? We do. This one looks very respectable. This is a very respectable looking heat graph. So congrats to both players for getting the time basically correct, Mundo. And he was even it was one of his goals to try to use his time more wisely. Yeah, well, that's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get as long as we don't fall for the mate. Boom, boom, and then we kind of blow it here, D5, because white has too many coconuts talking to that square. So, what do we want you to do? We want you to develop your pieces. So here, something like any one of those moves would be fine. D5, losing a pawn. He takes the bishop. If I was white, I would have taken with the pawn. And now F6. We do not like this move. This is not a developing move. Okay, so actually G-Hit is very simple to make progress. We don't want to give away our coconuts, and we don't give away time. Pawn moves are not developing moves. The only two pawn moves you need to make are two moves to free your Bishovskis over here. That's it. Sometimes we free them this way too. Doesn't matter as long as you get them out. So in this position, we would like a move like Bishop D6, Bishop C5, even Bishop E7 to get ready to castle. F6, C4. An unnecessary move, something like Knight C3. The pawn wasn't attacked. C6. Now this move, I think I can kind of get behind. The problem is, dude can develop and defend. Dude does not. They don't appreciate developing here. Okay. Now the reason I can kind of get behind this move is if you could force him to take you and you get your knight out, then then that's genius level. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work that way. Oh, Pepper Chess. I got a stream deck now, Boss. My streaming rating went from people were giving me about a 500 rating, and I'm a solid 750 now. Yeah. H3, definitely not correct. Knight C3, better. If you say you don't like it, that's fine. Tell us why, and then tell us what white should have done. Good move. Poor, not developing. Castles, good move. A3, poor, not developing. Let's win that pawn on D5, please. Yes, sir. Poor, allowing Bishop D4. Stockfish prefers bishop d4 by quite a bit. Now, here's where we want you not to use Stockfish, and just to say why we like bishop d4, because it doesn't lose time, and it keeps the bishop far more active than the bishop on d6. c5, that's no big deal. Now your pawns are fine. Here. Okay, let's bring out your coconuts. Now, in an abstract way, I don't disagree too much. However, I'm upset that you're not developing your guys. Bring them out. Okay. Superficial. Let's see if you defended it. Good move. All right. Let's bring a piece out. Ah. Okay. Superficial. Bang. Thank you very much. Bang. All right, good. Now notice, and we've seen this on so many ground shows, is that the thing they're going to do is, in addition to hanging stuff, they are going to make superficial threats that don't develop their coconuts. This whole time, for example, this guy's sitting here, this guy's sitting here, nobody knows. Queen moving back and forth, doing all kinds of dancing. Very good. Little weird. I want you to bring your knight out. Well, that's just a good move, dude. That's just a good move. Can't say nothing about that, Jesse. All right. Now, you play queen a8. Okay, queen takes a1. It's fine. But now, we just want to see. This has everything to do with board vision. So bringing the bishop back saves the bishop. And now you give him this, what we call the exchange. So you got a rook, he got a bishop. Queen a2, okay. Cheap threat again. Good move. Good move. Oh, bad move. Sorry, I make mistakes too. You got to protect your knight and your rook. Rook f7 is a good option. Get out of this one. Protect this coconut. Now we're in trouble. Good move. We're not in trouble. You're not in trouble, buddy. You're doing fine. Now you say you're winning? Okay, I'm okay with that. That's a fancy move. That's a good one. That's a good one. And he just resigns? Well, you know. If he didn't resign before, yeah, then I don't know why he's resigning now. But I want to say a couple things you're doing really well. You used your time really well. Let's just end with this little time graph here. You used your time really well that I like. And what's going to happen is you're going to play a lot more of these chumps that are just going to be making random threats. And, you know, you just want to be like every move they make, it's not a developing move. You're like, are they threatening something? Cover that threat, try to develop for the win, right? For the win. All right, let's go back to El Grad Show. And we're going to talk about Manuel here. Manuel doesn't say anything. Let's go click over here and see what's going on with Manuel. Manuel, tell us something about yourself. You're doing a lot of nice work over here. This looks good. Kind of interesting. This one represents as brown, and I think that just means a little bit of games and analysis. Okay. So 424, this is looking good. Done some checkmate tests. It tracks with Manuel's rating. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to give the dojo a compliment. With our checkmate tests and the way we dialed in, what kind of rating tactically gets, you know, what kind of score? No, we dialed that in for 3.0, man. You know, and then the checkmate test continued to dial, and the tactics test continued dialing. This is a very objective measure of your tactical skill. I think the only time it doesn't work is if somebody just does, let's say, one test, or they, they abandoned a test or something like that. Otherwise, we're getting very, very legitimate numbers for a person's tactical ability. Okay, the test, by the way, should feel brutal. It should be very difficult. It should be a very difficult thing to do. Okay, so clubs, Manuel. Chestnut, Berlin und aus Deutschland. Beautiful. Now, what's cool about this one is Manuel, what this means with one member, is Manuel started his own Berlin dojo, and I'm happy with that. I really think people should do their own areas, and I'm sure, well, actually, Manuel, I don't know if you play on a team there. I really recommend, if you're living in Germany, to play on one of the teams. You know, I forget what the lowest level, it was like a Bezirksliga or something like that. You can do one of those leagues, you know. Anyways, your team, you can put your team as on here too, you know. Get some people from your team to join the dojo, and then you can see everybody on the same scoreboard. I highly recommend, if you're going to play games online, classical games, to use this e-board thing. I think that's great. Maybe a little expensive for some, but you can also set up your board just right next to the computer if you like. It's just a little bit more elegant and less distracting to play on this e-board. All right, so let's click on games. We got a game. First, let's look at the time graph. Uh-oh. Yep. All right, Manuel, you're the first person I get to yell at today. Nobody's thinking here. He says, this was a 10-5 blunder game, but I want to analyze it because it shows me that it is important to never give up, no matter how much material I've lost. Okay. So, normally we don't review games that are this fast, but let's take a look. Good. Fine. Fine. Poor. However, this is one of the dirtiest traps I've ever seen, man. Look at this move, dude. Look at this move. Oh, man. Oh, this is a great trap. I mean, that's so dirty. Look at that, you guys. Look how dirty that is. We should clip that, dude. That is so nasty. Okay, so he spends 9 seconds here. And, you know, one of the tricky things is at this level, they are going to give you pieces for free. So, you know, at my level, somebody gives you a piece, you're like, well, I'm gonna think about this for a second. I'm gonna ponder this one for a minute or two. Bam! And what's kind of fun about this is you say it's a clear advantage for black. Of course, it's winning for black. But at your level, that might be fair. It might be fair to say something like that. Good move. Queen c2. Good move. Bishop g5. And you write, I want to support my pawn and forget that my other pawn on b2 was hanging. I think bishop g5, at least from a practical perspective, is reasonable, because if you put your rook on d1, you're going to threaten something. Now, he probably should play f6 first. And now rook d1 for sure. And now basically all of our coconuts have fallen. They've all fallen. Now, that's poor. That's poor. So knight a6 also could defend his coconut. Bishop h3. Oh, baby, oh, taste me. That was pretty good. This guy noticed too. Actually, the main takeaway, this is for not only these players, but the main takeaway should be, oh, this happened in 6 seconds. You know? So when we see that, what we're really talking about are players who are unable to slow themselves down. There's like this urge. I see the rook. Of course, that's the move. I'm going to take it. Oh, you got. That was a pretty fun game. All right, next up we have Adam. Oh, you know, I don't know. I need to mark. You know what, Kraai? All right, we're going to go. I really blew it now. I needed to go in here, and I'm supposed to mark these things as reviewed so that they know that I did it. That's kind of silly, though, isn't it, Kraai? Now you're just going all over town here, trying to fix your problems. All right, just fix your problems. I know. A little bit exciting. All right, we're back to life. Adam, Doesn't say much. Let's see what's going on with Adam. 39-year-old chess dad, rower, cyclist, power lifter, guitar player, avid reader, software engineering manager, just trying to not be bad at chess. That's great, dude. That's great. Besides being, I got all those things there except the guitar player and the software engineering manager. Unless you want to talk about me yelling at our dev team here as being a software engineering manager. Maybe that's who I am, buddy. Hey, Jack, I'm your manager, buddy. I'm your manager, bro. Yeah, Heavy Things Club, Alex. That's right. You know, and actually, let me tell you a quick story. So, from the beginning of the dojo, basically the people who were into powerlifting were the ones who were like, listen, Kraai, listen, Kostya, you need to give us a detailed plan so that I know exactly what I need to do day for day. Exactly. And it's a hard thing to do, but we are actually on the brink of pushing that live. So, and we're going to develop it further. It's going to come out, and then we're going to dial it in. But it's a really cool thing we have where you don't have to use it, but we don't want people to come to the site and be like, oh, Baus, there's all these things. You know, it's kind of like if you would go to the gym and they would list, like, I don't know, 100 exercises that you could do. That's not what you want. You want to go to the gym and be told exactly WTF what you're supposed to do, right? Exactamundo. So that's what we're going to have. And I think it was really the power lifters in the dojo who were like, listen, buddy, I got this thing I do every week, and now we're going to follow it. Yeah. I did. Oh, man. I'll just tell, actually, just moment of pride here because Alex is here. So when I first started, when I went back, you know, I was doing cycling like Adam and running. And then I started doing CrossFit about 3.5 years ago. And at first, I did not have range of motion on my squat. And anytime it got a little heavy, it was just forget about it, dude. It was just like a bending forward like an old man and stuff. And I don't even know exactly how I achieved it. But and I'm a tall dude. You know, I have ankle mobility problems, the whole thing. And I don't even know how it happened, but it came together, and now I'm just crushing it, dude. I got good form. I did, 275 times 3 yesterday, which isn't a huge amount, but for me, it was like from somebody who didn't have range of motion to putting on gnarly weight, dude. You know, that was great, man. And I'm like, I don't know about my other lifts. My other lifts might have plateaued a little, but I feel like now with that, just been flying with the squat, dude. Flying. Okay, Kraai, you're talking too much. Let's get in here. So we got clubs. Alex, can you create, I'm going to ask a favor for you, Alex. Club creation process. That's great. Okay. I'll join that club, dude. We're going to you tell me what his name is. I'm going to search it and we're going to do the Heavy Things Club. Yeah. This dude's part of all kinds of clubs, man. Look at this. Boston. All right, here we go. So this is looking good. Let's go activity just for a second. And that's a good breakdown right there. Yeah. All right, games. We got one game. And I believe we're UG. I believe we're UG. So, time graph. And we're going to say, happy to say that we're playing some chump who can't think, and we can. Now, this is technically a blunder game because of the fast time control that we're dealing with, but we will take a look. All right. Fine. GF, a little weird. Fine. Now, E4 is funky because it's not really a developing move. Good move. You're very solid. Poor. Good. Jesse, is this the better move than ED5 because it keeps protection on the king? Both move toward the center, but this felt like the better of the two. Okay. When we say capture toward the center, that rule would be this one. Now, what we should say is pawn takes pawn is a horrendous move. It's absolutely terrible because these guys, this pawn on f3, he has one job, and that's to guard this e4 square. Once he takes, and regardless of how you recapture, you're just so golden, and this is just ugh. So honestly, I would be so overjoyed that my opponent played ed5 that it would take me a moment to even reflect on how I should recapture. All three of them are good. All three of them are great. I guess I like your move best in this case because maybe could have messed with you with some queen e2 check or something. And here we just have a very simple thing. We're going to put our rook on c8. But ed would also be a very nice position. An embarrassment of riches position after e takes d5. That's a poor move because you can just play a6. Your move's fine as well. Poor, giving you a tempo. Knight takes. In general, we take with the queen because that's a developing move, right? We're going to get the rooks connected. All right, castle's poor. The king is very weak now. Unnecessary. You can castle if you want. Good. Good. Poor, not developing. I want your queen to go to h4 now. Ooh. Look at that. Bring the lady in. It's time. It's time to bring that lady in. No one knows what white's doing. Weird. Not 100%, but okay. If you're going to move the bishop somewhere, probably here so that you can line up this bad boy. Not developing. Okay. Okay. So you're still doing great, but you haven't taken advantage yet of the horrendous position of the white king. You're still doing great, though. Rook b8. I like rook c8 as well. a5. Weird move. Pawn move to stall to see if he takes. We're not interested in stalling. We're interested in you making progress in your position. A real basic move you can make, for example, is g6. And the idea is to say, eventually my king will need a square. So I'll just make a square, a Luft move. Snip snop gives you the b file. Terrible. f5, frisky. e5, well, let's see. I thought about this for a few seconds and realized if I took, then queen can take back and there's no consequence for the queen when done. Okay, so, you got a lot of easy moves to make here. ef followed by g6, maybe some kind of rook b3. And this one just makes me a little nervous because he has like queen g3 here. Snip, snop. Here, passive, rook e8. Your rook is already on the open file. I need you to make a Luft move for your king. Okay, so he's trying to fix his rook. And you fix it for him with d takes c4, rook takes. Now your advantage is largely evaporated. Check, that's just a spite check. Okay, finally, h6, good move. Queen e c6, and that's not it. Check to the miserable king. Boom. Checkmate. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. So, that was beautiful. And that's Adam. We have, Alex has created the lifting club. So, me and Adam are going to join that pretty soon here. So then we got Harry Orchard up next. We got a grad show, buddy. And then this is Harry Orchard. Look at that. Is that a parabolic curve? Flying up there. Beautiful heat map. Just joined, basically. We're going to give him a follow. Has done some tactics tests. They all seem to match his rating. This one probably needs to do another one. Clubs, chess steps, fine. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, Harry. All right, activity, he's doing, that looks like good work. Games. This is going to be Harry against Eliza. Now, this is a little soft with the annotations, okay? Now, When you're just starting out, it's hard to annotate. I'm just going to see if there's one that's a little bit more detailed. Well, let's try this one. So this is Harry Orchard. Do we have a time graph? We do. Let's check it out. This is a 30 plus 20. And we can see that both players rushing, especially at the beginning. And so very typical of this level. And again, the three things that people will need in the under 1,000 to get above 1,000 is to get a grip on the board. That means not hanging stuff. It's the hardest thing. It sounds easy, but it's actually very difficult. Your opponents are going to be hanging stuff too. Then it's learning to develop, getting a little religion on that development. And third, it's using the time on the clock. They all sound kind of trivial, but they require good habits. And they require, like, when you start moving too fast, you hear my voice maybe. Or you make a move that's not developing, maybe you hear my voice yelling at you, something like that. Okay. Lifting heavy things is the name. Great, we're going to go check that out after this. So, bishop c4, knight e5 is a standard trick. Maybe that's something that your computer told you. Okay, we've seen millions of games like this. And now h3. And you say protecting against knight g4 and making luft for the king. Generally, I would say if there's a fear, it would be maybe bishop g4 and knight d4. Good move. I would have done that in one move earlier. And now notice when he does this, he has opened up your rook on f1. Knight h5. And now king h2. I think that's okay. Good move. Queen f6. It's getting a little spicy now. But what about knight d5? That looks strong. d4. No, I don't like it as much as d5, knight d5. Takes. This is in principle wrong because we're fixing our pawns. But he does get a little check, and it's a little squirrely for us, isn't it? But maybe we're fine. King g1. Queen g3. I don't know. As is typical at this level, they're just trying to worm some kind of thread in. They're not thinking strategically. That's probably okay. But then you got to deal with this question. And then you do this, which I don't like. So when we go to this position, look, you're doing better in development. You know, you do want to deal with the queen. I think probably the easiest move is queen e1 to deal with it. And now this can't be right because you're blundering bishop h3. Boom. And, you know, at some stage in every chess player's development, they're going to get whacked with this tactic, right? Knight h4, queen e1, and now rook f2. I don't know about, queen e3. There's a variety of different moves black could play here. I don't really understand queen e3 yet. Okay. Dang, look at that move. That's fancy. Does it do anything? It probably does, man. Okay. So, rook f8, mistake. Mistake. Probably should give away the rook. Good move. Knight g6 was a nice move. Knight h4. Now, I like maybe this move. Try to trade some queens off. Now I'm a little nervous with some kind of takes on e5. He doesn't like it. Rook f8 doesn't threaten anything. King f1. Oh, that scares me. Bishop e2. Queen e2. Ah! Ah! So, you're right. Wanted to move out of the queen pin, but just into the rook pin. That's right. So this is an instructive mistake. And I want to stress, like, one of the things that I think every chess player goes through is their opponent makes some kind of wild attack and it's giving up some stuff. And then you have to learn how to consolidate the position, right? How to consolidate the position. And it's not the easiest skill to do. I feel like right now I really want that exchange of queens, for example. And this knight, so we're not toast yet, but that knight's getting a little funky. And then now it's like, oh, I need to move my knight on e2. And then we fall into this. So this is an example where he got a little lucky with this tricky chess. And he probably thinks he's a genius. You know. Okay. So, good game. And unfortunately, Harry Orchard, you know, we lost to a chump who was moving pretty quickly. But we have to say, you moved also very quickly. So slowing down will be a key part of this journey for you. All right, wait, let's go clubs. We're gonna go, what was it called here? Oh wait, grad show? Where's the lifting heavy things club too? What was it called? It's called lifting. That's what it's called. Let's just try lifting. Lifting heavy things. We already have 3 members, dude. Pepper Chess is in there, bud. Okay, let's join this one. Lifting heavy things. Nice. Oh, that's great, man. Thank you, Alex, for doing that. Okay, next up we have Hexagon. Hexagon, well, many players you can see joined fairly recently, and they have got a nice little heat map going. So 6-10, and you can see this is where the tactics dashboard won't work, is if you, like, when I see that score of 28, that suggests to me he was like, F it, man, I can't, this test, too hard, I'm not going to deal with it, I'm going to bail. Then you get a score of 28, and you kind of mess with the curve for other players when you resign. You give up like that. Get below parallel, that's right. Upload your lifting videos for a form check from Jesse. Well, Alex could do it, dude. You know, I would maybe make a comment on the videos, but Alex would be the one to tell us about the form, man. All right, Hexagon's ADHD Dojo. Tell us something about where you're from. And then we got Hexagon here. This is a 30-0 game. Let's click on this one. So, third game of the day. That's a little too much. I'm going to say that's a little much. Time graph. Could be better, right? Could be better. It's a 30-0 game. You used less than half your time. Yeah. I felt very on edge and needed to calm down. So one of the things that's important to see, and this happens even at the GM level, that when you got high anxiety, you're freaking out, you're going to move faster because you're going to see some move and it's going to be really hard to just take a breath, pull it back, and think about it a little deeper, right? Reconsider it. All right, so here we go. Fine. Bishop b5 is a poor move. Bishop doesn't belong there. Bishop d7 is also good here. Poor. All right, now we got everything's going our way. Knight f3. Fine. I like bishop g4 too. Fine. Fine. Poor. I want you to note this. That whenever they move develop piece twice, that's just generally wrong. Good. Poor. Yeah, you're doing great. Poor. Okay. I like castles better. Okay. I like that less. What do I want you to do? I want you to castle. Still doing okay. And now we're going to nail him. Right? Let's get his pawn. Bang. I want you to take with this, though, so that our pawn here isn't hanging. Because now he could have taken knight takes e4. This caught me by surprise a little bit. So maybe if you weren't so exhausted, right, you wouldn't have let that pawn hang. Notice, why is knight f6 a mistake? Because it's helping you develop. Yeah. Queen d3. All right. Now, we had an earlier game today where we saw an opponent had weakened their king. So let's see if black gets after it here. I don't like that move. Why? Because the rook is already doing a job here. Let's bring this guy in if we're going to do that one. Let's bring that one in. Okay. It's at least well-intended here. And white makes a big mistake with gf5, probably queen g3. And now our rook is activated. Very good. We should feel good about our prospects here. This is the wrong check, though. When you check queen g5, you're allowing white to play queen g3. So you probably want rook g5. Check to the miserable king. Good. Except it allows that, unfortunately. And now our coconut on e6 is hanging. He takes it. Rook f5. I'm not sure about this diagonal. It's not a diagonal, but maybe file. But I don't see a better move at the moment. So look, what happened here? You're doing great, and then the next couple moves, you blunder a pawn. And you, I don't know if I want to call it a blunder, but you're giving away your main advantage here, which is that the white king is loose. Once the queen comes off, it doesn't matter, right? So queen f6 comes to mind, e5 comes to mind. All right, so this doesn't help. That's a poor move. And that's really where the rook belongs. So they're doing that correctamundo. Good move, rook c5. Now you're getting active. Very good. Good. Now it's going to get spicy. Okay, not a good check. This lets me move my king and protect the passed pawn. So yeah, maybe, first of all, very interesting endgame now. Probably a4 would be white's chance. So this is just helping you. Good. You're going the right way. Okay. Now, is it push, baby, push? He does push. Now, let me just say this is a little bit advanced, but king e4 is the move here. And the reason is, on d3, white needs to consider king d3 to bring the king to the blockading square. It's d3. Let it go, Kraai. Let it go. It's fine. Okay. Hey. King d4. Good. King e4, even better. Very good. King e3. King e2. Now it's going to get hot. I kind of would want to take that pawn on h7, a2, I think. Oh, it's hot. h7. Rook b8. h7 was a blunder. The white king needs to stay incommunicado with this pawn. Good. Good. And now we got him, baby. Oh, yeah. Let's see the mate. Very nice. Very simple, Mr. Dimple. Whew. Good game. Now, we want you to slow down a little bit. Okay? We want you to slow down. I like the fact that you outplayed him in the endgame. If your opponent had a thought, well, it might have been a tougher battle. Might have been a tougher battle. Okay, good. Let's continue. Next up, we have Far Eastern. Far Eastern writes, taking my first step to getting serious about chess improvement after plateauing for the past 3 years. I had previously broke 1,000 ChessCom, but fell back down and began to play less frequently. Over the past 2 years, I have played more OTB, but this in the form of street chess, which is usually blitz or rapid and are more casual games. Entered a few FIDE-rated tournaments, but rapid time control tournaments are the default here, which I feel does not help my chess. Especially since ratings below 1400 are not counted and termed inactive. I know I need to work on my tactics and endgames, and after taking the first step to join the Dojo program, I have tried to get back into playing games again and won 3 rapid in a row, spiking my rating back up because I was deemed inactive for playing so infrequently online. A lot of work ahead of me, but I hope to get good enough to break 1400 FIDE and get an active OTB one day. Okay, now 1400 FIDE, that's quite a, that's a struggle from here, let's say. That's a struggle, but it is a good long-term goal. So, all right, let's click Far Eastern. We're going to give Far Eastern a follow. Recovering openings addict. Pretty much just came back to the dojo. And one of the things Far Eastern I'll say is you hit tournaments up here and hit that round robin. I would say that is a great spot for you to start. Play some people in the 600, 700 cohort in that round robin. Go over the games afterwards with them. You're going to get some, it's going to be good. And is this opening that you did here? Oh man, maybe it's just the opening video that we have there. All right, clubs. Asian Dojo, Down Under, Singapore. Look at that. So this person, I think it's got to be because it's just one member, founded the Singapore Dojo. Thank you very much. I've been actually saying in these grad shows, when people say they're from Asia, I'm like, dude, I need a little bit more information. Asia's a big place. Yeah. Far Eastern is in the chat. Fantastic. And we got a game. So, all right, looks good. And we will say that Far Eastern did much better in the use of time than their opponent. When you play a game without a increment, you can land where Far Eastern did, which is unusual, as we've seen, for the under 1,000 cohort, namely just being super low on time at the end, right? Okay, here we go. So, now, as Far Eastern's talking to me about openings, I'm not interested. We have a podcast up, by the way, with the famous John Ludwig Hammer, who's friends with Carlsen, used to be his trainer. Great GM, great interesting personality. We talked about should beginners, what would we call the beginner? We talk about that too. Study opening. So that is up now if you're interested in the question. And so the general point I'm going to make, Far Eastern, it doesn't help you, these words, because we want you, your opponent's not going to, we just want you to play developing moves. Fine. A little weird. Okay. Fine. You're doing fine. So, opening, all good principles so far. Poor. Right? Not developing. And you play h6. Poor. Because there wasn't a real threat. What would have been good? Rook c8. Then you would create a threat over here. Poor. So you want to play rook c8 to make the queen embarrassed over here. c4. Poor. You're disconnecting your rooks, yeah. Frisky. Frisky. And now you blunder. So this is what we're talking about. It's not about the openings for you. It has nothing to do with the openings. As I said, at this level, it's going to be having a grip on the board, 80% of the journey. And here we have a problem of grip. There's a lot of things, if you follow the program, you will fix that grip problem. Right? It's not, the opening thing isn't going to help. All right, knight h5. Okay, good, I like that. Now, can white mate you? Probably g4, g5 is going to mate you. A little slow. Let's hit him with b4. Oh. So, even though you're down a piece, you still have some practical chances with the move b4. Knight g6. I don't know why we wouldn't just play bishop. Knight takes c6. Don't trade queens, buddy. Oh, no. All right, we are totally toast. Yeah, and you don't have any time left. So, first of all, the good news is you did take your time. And I don't know what move it was. This has to be some move up here where you really tanked. You tanked on this decision on c4. I'm just looking back here. That's funny, actually, if I go to time usage. I was kind of consistent. 30 minutes, and it's not that long. Okay, so Far Eastern. I think if you follow the Dojo Training Program, and do the things that we tell you to do, your grip on the board is going to increase, and it's really stuff like hanging your business that is going to be the most important thing for you to fix. And even here, you lose a piece at this level, you still have a shot. Like if you'd played b4 there, I think you have good chances of making a comeback. Okay, next up we have Tilo. Tilo says, hi everyone, I won't be able to join the graduation stream because it's overlapping with my rated classical match tonight, probably in Europe then. Wish me luck, I graduated so fast. I'm still waiting for the delivery of everyone's first chess workbook. I want to dive deeper into the game analysis and will add all my new games to the system. Really like the dojo system so far, and its structure really helps me to focus on specific topics while studying. My goal for 2025 is to climb toward 1650 FIDE to catch up with my chess team. So I have a lot of work ahead. Now, I just want to say I'm always a grumpy dude on this. I'm just like, Tilo, if you could go up to, just maybe even you might be able to do it in the next couple months, but like to 800, to the 700 to 800 cohort. That would be 800 to 900 cohort. That would be a nice accomplishment. Okay, so here we go. So, also pretty new to the dojo, maybe part of our promotion that we did. We gave a lot of people a free month in the dojo. A lot of people came. So, this is a good start. It's done some tests and stuff. Tactics are looking good. Tactics look great. Actually, Tilo, if anything, this suggests that you should be able to hit 9 to 1,000 cohort in a short order. So clubs, aus Deutschland, Tilo. That's a great German name. I don't know, Tilo's, I think it's a nickname for something. I don't know what it is. So here we go. Boom. That looks great. Tilo's doing good. Games. This is Tilo. Actually, I'm going to do this one because this looks like a over the board game. All right. So here we don't have times for this. It's understandable. So over the board one, let's take a look. It looks like it was a 90 plus 30, but he didn't put the times in. So, boom, 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 boom. And I don't know about this move. I don't know about this move. I think knight takes c3 is more to the point. Now, you castled, and I'm wondering, could you play knight takes e4? That would be my question. Yeah. So you castle. Bishop d3. If I was black, I would be concerned a little bit about knight d6. That's a fair move. Let's take on e4. Good. Okay. Queen f6. Boom. Now I think we're doing great. Let's play maybe a6 or rook d8. Queen e5. That might be a good move too. Now, white does have to find queen e2. Do you give it in your notes? Good. Queen e2. And you give queen e2 f5. Now, one thing I want to stress is when you're in these positions where your opponent is a little bit down in time, there usually is a way to hurt them. And so queen e5 is a nice attempt, but unfortunately for us, queen e2 kind of holds it together a little bit. Maybe it's going to be similar anyway, but like rook d8, I like rook d8, you know. All right, let's go with your move. Queen e5, they blow it, and you say thank you very much. Boom. Oh, that's a nice move right there, Tilo. Let's just give you an arrow for that move. Very nice. Good move. Good move. Well, that ain't it, huh? Queen b2, okay. Queen e3. Queen takes a3. That's probably something better, but he's just so tied down here. It's so miserable. Oh, Nice. These are nice moves, Tilo. Fine. Check to the miserable king. Fine. This is not very nice. It's not very nice what you're doing to him, Tilo. Very nice. Okay. So they hung a piece and you took advantage of it. That's what we want to see. Absolutely. That's what we want to see. Adam Conrad is in the YouTube chat. He says, I'm sorry, sometimes I don't always see all the chats, but he says he's going to help me with powerlifting. He's going to be in the club. You know, I don't know how, I guess actually if we have a club chat, there's no reason why we can't like upload videos. I haven't been that intense about my lifting where I'm like, you know, so intense with my lifting that I'm filming myself. We do have loads of people at my gym though. They got their phones set up, these millennials, you know, and they're like looking at their forms and stuff. All right. So here we go. Boom. Next up is Ice on Mars. All right. Let's go Ice on Mars. Give them a follow. And let's see. So they joined in February, but they haven't done many things. No games. So sometimes we see graduations like this, you know. Maybe somebody, I don't know. Maybe somebody who didn't do anything or they're not logging it maybe, but they did have some kind of recent success and they were like, I'm going in there and hit that graduation button. So in any case, I'm hoping that you do a little bit more or start doing some, blogging your work and showing us a game or two. Okay, next up we have Muno. I gotta organize my coffee here, see. I gotta organize my coffee. My girlfriend got me a frother, dude, and I've been going crazy. I've been going crazy with the frother, bro. Okay. So Muno says, although this graduation took a bit longer than I would have preferred, I believe that my playing strength has steadily improved over the last few months thanks to the dojo. I made the decision to move into lead chess for my serious games, and it took me a few months to earn a non-provisional rating. Jesse, if possible, I'd like to kindly request that you review the David Newland game. I can do that. I continue to value the dojo community and the many wonderful dojoers that have enhanced my personal journey and have kept me interested and motivated in my travels. Great! So, here is Muno. Oh, look at this, you guys. Hold on. Bang. Heat map. Look at that, bud. Muno is putting in the work. Now, also, as you can see, like once you start moving up the ladder, it takes some work. You know, it takes some work to get to that next level. Dude did 183 points in a year, and this is actually a third graduation in this past year. Lots of tactics, some games and analysis. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the scratch show thing. And yeah, here's doing this, 794, pretty consonant with where he's at. Maybe he probably had a bad result in one tactics test. Clubs. Adult in Seattle, great. If we look at this, as we expected, a lot of tactics, we'll click on it. And everyone's first chess workbook, fantastic. Games. And, oh, he said David Newland. There we go. So, analyzed and evaluated without an engine, second OTB at South Sound Chess Club. Beautiful. All right. So, first, we do have some times. Maybe manually put in. And we're going to say it looks pretty good. Maybe at the end. We'll see what's going on at the end. But at the end, it looks like both players are like, I'm done. Maybe it was done. Maybe people were just playing it out, even though they're up a piece or something. All right, so here we go. Game review. And here we go. I still don't know what to do against c5. Now, as long as you develop your pieces, you're going to be fine. So good, good, fine, fine. Good. See, look. I just want to say something. Okay, this guy didn't know any openings and played fantastic. Fantastic. B6, poor move. Poor move because you're not developing. Now, white has a number of nice moves. Thought for 2 minutes here. And I want to stress that it's important to see that no matter what you do here, that you have a far superior position. And the reason you have a better position is because you are so much better developed than black here. Personally, I like this move, bishop f4. For example, I want to talk to this square, and if they go here, I want to go whack, and bang, bang. That's what they get for not developing their coconuts. That's what they get. That's what they get. You have other moves too, and your move d5 isn't terrible at all. Bishop b7 takes. That part I don't like because the pawn is really just scrunching his style. To me, the main benefit of this pawn is that it's blocking the bishop and it's stopping, it's stopping the knight from coming out. So I want you to develop a coconut instead, maybe bishop f4. So this frees both of black's pieces there. Bishop d5. Dang! Saw a 5-ply tactic to win a pawn and went for it. Well, I'm going to give you props. I think that's fine. Well done. Look at this. Very nice. Well done. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Fine. Poor. Because it's not developing. They play maybe knight d4. He needs to free the bishop. Fine with me. Not developing, and now rook fd1. Now, one of the things I want you to see is he's giving you 2 pieces for the rook. We should take it. Yeah. Beautiful. So rook fd1, snip, snop. Here. Okay, if he wants to trade. Oh, now we've fallen for rook takes c6, and he says beginning of the end. Now, I don't know if black realized this, but the problem, right, was that on gf3, things are more messy than we would like after knight e5. All right? We're actually still doing great, but just we didn't want to allow this. And so you actually did this amazing line with rook takes e6, and that's highfalutin. But it makes sense because black's pieces aren't working. So that's a very nice move that you found. To me, it looks winning for white. As long as he's not, fixing his coconuts, that's a nice position. Right. Excuse me. So rook takes c6, and now you blundered. Okay. So this is the kind of thing where we talk about grip on the board where we need work. Right? And here you played at 2:15 and you're just not seeing it. Right? So very nice annotations, and this is really where the game's decided. Right? This is where the game is decided. And now there's just not much we can do. He doesn't need to play rook d7. He just could take the coconut, That's a little frisky, rook d7. All right. So they should be able to do this in their sleep. Wait a sec. Yeah, fine. Okay, so let's stop there. Well done. Yeah. Do I treat the dojo the same way if I read other books as the recommended ones, if the recommended ones aren't easily accessible to me? Let's go back to the grad show. Well, you can do it, buddy. You can do it, Diesel Donkey. Everything in the dojo, by the way, is easily accessible. One of the things that we really dialed in for all of the material that we had was to make sure, there are books out there, for example, that are great books, but we're like, they're not easily accessible. They're not going to be in the program. So everything there is easily accessible. And then it's just hard for me to answer the question because I don't know what book you're reading. Next up, you guys, we have I'm going to call her a hero of the dojo, Karo Kanye. And just bear with me a second. So, Karo sucks. One of my big dreams for the dojo, and it's only there in the smallest form at the moment, is that European clubs and U.S. scholastic teams start coming in as clubs and putting themselves up as clubs so they can like work together and be like, all right, I can see what you've done. I can see what we can do together. I can see your progress, right? And Karo here is part of the Patterson, here we go over here, clubs. Part of this Patterson Clippers chess team, which is here in Baltimore. And they are trying to win for the second year in a row, the Baltimore City Championship. And, you know, these are some scrappy kids, man. They're going for it. She is all cats and lots of hope. If you don't know the reference, there's a thing in the Queen's Gambit where it says the Karo Khan is all pawns and no hope. All right, so activity. Looking good, Karo. Looking good. And we go, let's look at your rating just for a second. Oh, yeah, you're killing. Look at that, 943. That is great. That is great. And one thing here, Karo, is it would be cool to strive to get this higher. And you could do it in so many different ways. You could improve this score. You could take these tests, get them higher. Try to get that average rating higher. Okay, let's see if we got a game. Oh, Karo. Oh. Coach Barron, are you watching, Baus? Are you watching right now, Baus? What's going on with Karo? What's going on? Well, Karo, I'm hoping to see you again. And I want you guys to win the city championship. The dreams are resting upon you, Karo. All right, here we go. Boom. Next up, we have Dryfo. And Dryfo says, feels good to break into that 1,000 cohort and look forward to the materials in it. And I plan to stick around there for a while. First book of Morphe has been transformative for me so far in understanding and applying basic chess principles. And I've recently found greater clarity in my thinking process during games. I plan to finish off the book before starting the main materials in the new cohort. Regarding the game, please review my most recent published game against R. Oshan. While the last few of my games shown on stream were losses and disappointments, but ultimately very useful to see Jesse go through them, this time I want to give back to the sub 1000 community by showing a successful game in which aggressive development, principled chess mostly, and not relying on system opening worked out. While I'm sure the game isn't perfect, I'm interested to see the mistakes I made. I hope it can reinforce some of the dojo principles that I've tried to put in practice myself. Great. P.S. Jesse, you were asking me on previous grad show where I was from because I'm in the Asian Dojo Club, so I finally added my bio. Great. This is looking great. Thank you for doing all of those things. All right, so here we go. Vietnam. Okay, great. I want to go to Vietnam someday. So, playing with his wife, they started in July 23. And can we just admire his heat map for a second? Look at that thing. He's crushing the heat map. Fantastic. Yeah, this man has begun and is crushing the heat map. And it looks good, too. All right, so we got clubs. Got the Asian Dojo. I was making fun of him before. And okay, so activity, let's just see. This pretty good macro distribution tactics. Doing a lot. That's looking good. And these are everyone's first chess workbook. All right, great. Games. Let me just make sure if he said something. He said against R. Oshan. That's what we're going to do. Uh-oh. Wait, what happened? I blew it. Where's Oshan? Oh, God. I just did something weird. I just said, wait, refresh the page, Kraai. There it is. That's always a boomer's way to figure out any computer problem, is just refresh. My screen is like not showing anything. Why is that? Huh. Are you guys getting this too? It's like, wait a second. How come? Oh, I know why. I know why. I know why. It's because I had it on that heat map thing. Oh, I really blew it there. I'm sorry about that, you guys. Falgrass, I think it was Jack who said on Discord that there were plans to have dojo clubs play against each other. Any progress on that? Oh, I hope so. Let me tell you, we are doing so many things in Dojo Land. Like right now on our Discord, it's just lighting up with notifications. And previously, I would click on that even during the stream because I'm like, someone's yelling at me because I blew it on the stream or something, you know. And now it's just so many notifications. It's just, and it's because we have all these projects. And oh my gosh. So we got one project in my head, you know, I kind of want one project at a time. We recently did this round robin thing. That's great. We put a YouTube promotional video out. We're trying to be very consistent with the podcast. And the next thing up, we have this algo. This algo, we're calling it the algo, but it's going to tell you what to do in a powerlifting style. Anyways, that's the next project. The team thing, I hope so. I hope so. I'm not in charge of that one, though. I'm not in charge of that one. All right. So that's looking good. Let's just go over here, and we're going to look at the time graph. And one of the first beautiful things that we're going to see is that Dryfo's opponent moved too fast. And we are not going to criticize Dryfo's time usage, though, because it was only 15 moves long. All right, so here we go. So now he's just doing opening principles. Good. Good move. Frisky. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Now that one scares me because of D5. So probably a blunder here. So we have to, well, I take it back actually. It's more interesting than that. On DE5, you write ED5, but that's no lo puedo because of bishop takes. However, on D5, you could play queen G3, and if snip, you got snop, and then you got this thing going on. So it's hot. It's getting a little hot at the dojo over here. All right. Good. Okay. Now, generally, I'm opposed to pawn moves, but this pawn move is dominating the knight on C6. F6, poor, not developing. No says, I like how none of you were giving in to him. This is about the hammer episode. All right, B4. Okay, it's not losing time. Fine. Good. All right. Remember, we got to make pawn moves to get our bishops out. H5, poor. Not developing. And now you played knight H4, which is a little frisky. What do I want you to do? I want you to develop, right? Now, is it easy to figure out what to develop? It might not be so easy, but we want you to develop. Knight A3, maybe, as an example. Knight D2, as an example. Now, G5 scares me. He does it. And you say, you know what, bud? I'm done. I'm done. All right. Now, black is so far down in development that maybe we can play this way. Knight G8. Nice thought, but queen G6 should end the game. Check to the miserable king. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Welcome to the dojo. I need a little thing on my stream deck. This little GIF pops up and says, welcome to the dojo. In fact, I'm just going to write on my to-do list, welcome to the dojo GIF. See, we're talking about projects. That's what we're talking about. Those are the kind of projects that I need, you know. All right. Well done. And we're going to go back. This is the grad show. Rookie. There's a different rookie. So I don't know if I know this particular rookie. So rookie has started, been October, got these great goals going on. Beautiful heat map. Out of Canada. There's the Canadian one. So the Canadian, he's way up there, Canadian. But he's using Chess.com. Definitely encourage you to think about using your Canadian. That might be provisional at the moment stuff. Definitely encourage you to do these tactics tests. All right, clubs. Join that Canadian club. And in particular, if you're from, you know, whatever city, one of the cool things, if you say, like, you know, you're in Kitchener or whatever, yeah, maybe somebody's also there that you don't even know about. And then you start hanging out, training together. Here we go, games. Actually, I want to go activity first. So, looking great. Games. Here we have Koopman. Let's see, against RSN. All right, here we go. The Burlington Chess Club Winter Tournament. I think Burlington, that's like maybe in Vermont, and then you crossed over the border to play the tournament. I don't know. It's just my guess. There might be another. No, it's a different Burlington. There's a Burlington, Canada. Hold on. This is a little bit vague, I know, but Burlington, Canada. City in Ontario. I'm just Google mapping this here. Next, close to Kitchener. Yeah, there you go. Kitchener and Burlington are like suburbs of Toronto. That's really cool. Okay, I am learning something new every day. I mentioned Kitchener because I went there for, it was like a Canadian Open in 2005. 20 years ago. Oh no, I'm old. Okay. That's right, Mighty Quinn. Somebody's got to make me that GIF. All right. Hasta Mahogi says, shout out to your dev. The Dojo Analysis Board, in my opinion, is the best available. Thank you. Well, Jack says thank you as well. He worked hard on that, for sure. All right. So what's going on here, Kraai? You're looking at this game. Why don't we go game review? This is rookie. Times aren't given. I have, because it's a over the board. You can log your times. It's a little harder to do. Good move. Good move. Good move. A little poor. Good move. Fine. And you've just played fine chess here. Nothing wrong with your chess. Now, white has a problem because they need to find a way to develop this knight. It's not easy. Here it's uncomfortable because it's blocking the bishop and it's not hitting anything. Castles. D3. Okay. Rook e6. Now that one is the first move you made that I was like, I don't know about that one. Personally, I'd be drawn to this move, opening up the bishop. Okay. Waste of time. Queen d7, waste of time. So here you need a plan, right? And, you know, this rook is a little funny. I guess, you know, you want to do something like this to have it useful, if that's when you lift it like this. Good move. I like g6 a lot. Prevent the knight from coming in. Okay, good. Good move by white. He needs to fix that bishop. Okay. Okay. A little weird, but I think I get it. Okay. Uh-oh. Good move. By the way, this was like one of these dirty tricks these players will throw at you, and you saw it. Good move. Good move. Good move. Oh, rook f8. I don't know. Could you have played queen g4 and taken the coconut? It kind of looks like you can. You could still play queen g4 and take that coconut. I don't like this because now the knight gets really strong. So what you could have done is played f4, and then you could have really killed the knight's hopes and dreams. So this should be an example to you of like how when we fix an opponent's bad piece, all of a sudden it's just really angry. Knight g4. Snip snop. I think, yeah, he should have played knight g5. Okay, this is interesting. Interesting. Check. And now a blunder with queen e3, and we got him. Welcome to the dojo. This is where I need the GIF. You know, I need that welcome to the dojo GIF. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. Lightweight. That's what we need, dude. Maybe I just roll, get the dev team to do a bunch of those, you know. They do a little something different every time. All right, that was really well done. Now, one of the things I think would be interesting for you would be to analyze this. So, for example, here, 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 and then ask yourself, who's winning and why? And to me, I think it's going to be white, but I don't know. I would want to analyze it some. And the problem is it's going to be real hard to defend our coconut over here. Okay. Doomducks asked, was there a mate available with queen h4? I didn't see it, but maybe. I mean, this was our position, right? So check to the miserable. No, I didn't see it. All right. So, boom. Yeah, exactly, Quad. That's exactly what I want. All right, grad show, we're going back. Next up, we have GM Reagan. We got a couple more here in this one. We got, what do we got? Can you just tell me, Jesse? You got 3 more, and then I believe I missed someone on the last show, and I'm going to have to research that because I missed somebody. This is GM Reagan. Tell us something about yourself, GM Reagan. Getting to 1,008, playing a lot of games. No, it's not too much over here. Okay, clubs? No. Activity? Just a little bit. Games. We do got a game. Reagan is playing against the ping pong savage. You know, I feel I should play more ping pong. I used to love to play ping pong when I was a kid, and I just haven't been doing it. All right. So, let's go game review. So, all right. Lots of talk here, but you know what? You just played a good move. Bishop d2, fine. Fine, you're doing great. Now, c6 is a very, what we would call an ambitious move because he wants to play d5 on you. Now, your move is okay-ish, but a couple things. e3 does not, let's show your move. e3, it's not the end of the world, but it doesn't help your coconuts get out. So 2 moves I would suggest here. Knight f3, you know, and so if he hits you now, we're just going to go here. And also d4 makes a lot of sense, where, yes, the queen is out early, but now that this pawn is here, there's no more tiki-taka on our queen. So we're basically got a free developing move there too. Good move. Okay, knight e4, f3. Before I analyzed, I wanted him to take so I could take with my knight, right? But he doesn't have to take, so that's the problem. So the move we should play is like knight e2 followed by h4, put our knight there. So notice that f3, f takes e4 didn't help you at all. Good move. Good move. Let's play knight f4. Oh, okay. Let's play knight f4. Oh. All right, knight b5. Very ambitious because now the bishop is undeveloped. Let's play knight f4. No. Let's play knight f4. No. I don't understand a3. Okay, good. Develop. Now, this is something you'll often see at this level, is they don't know what to do, so they're going to like go trade off the bishop on g2. And it's not the worst, but black is abandoning their coconuts for a second when they do this. And you said, before I analyzed, I did not see that. And without thinking about it, I took on h3. So here's a nice tactic. Bang! And you could say to me, Kraai, what about knight takes? Oh, actually, it's kind of hectic, actually. It's more hectic than I realized. Because on knight e4, rook takes, king takes, the king gets out of the diagonal. And if I take here, then I have to deal with this. But it's actually not over because I get this nice coconut. Do I want to do this? I don't know. I do want to be aware of it, though. Bishop h3 is very frisky because actually, bishop h3 should win, but it's very frisky because you're inviting the vampire to the wedding, this being the vampire. Now, queen b7, I don't think is it. I'm worried about things. Would knight d5 have won? I think so. See, because we're creating this drama. And it's pretty hardcore. Yeah, it's pretty hardcore. So here, bishop g3, spicy. Knight g3, knight g4, very impressive, actually. So what the point of this sacrifice was to connect the rooks. And now are you toast? You might be toast. Let's just pause for a second. Yeah, I think it's gone. All right, so you tried to get out of it. That was very impressive by black, actually. Very impressive. Okay, so first of all, the ping pong savage, the ping pong savage played a very nice sequence of moves, but they did give you a chance here, and it was all about this one here, so, you know. By the way, I'm coming out with a Chessable course. They told me it's finally going to be available on, it took forever, dude, but it's going to be available on on Valentine's Day. And one of the things I did there was I gave positions like this where somebody forgot to develop. Like here, black is obsessed with bishop h3, but they haven't fixed this coconut at all, right? And so you have it becomes, sometimes it's a positional answer, sometimes it is a tactical answer. And in this case, we have a tactical win, but it's complicated because this looks like maybe, you know, black's going to be okay. When in fact, this is the one. And it's end of the world. It's end of the world. There's nothing to do. Okay. Well done. And let's continue here. We got the Doom Duck. And the Doom Duck, I believe, is in the chat. And Doom Duck says, I don't know exactly what to say. I started at almost zero chess knowledge a year ago at the age of 38, and now I reached 1,000. This is a big personal milestone. I'm aware that the real journey is still ahead of me, and that my chess knowledge is still rudimentary. But breaking 1,000 feels magical. I'm looking forward to learning about chess strategy, endgames, and the games of the old masters. For the ceremony, the ceremony, that's right, it's a ceremony. It would be awesome if the game versus Sharoon would be covered. Great, Doom Duck. This is really, that's a great note, dude. That's a great note. Yeah. It's funny about the 1,000. I do think it's magical. It's funny, so in the weightlifting world, I don't know, I'm just thinking about that because Alex is in the chat. There's this thing where beginner to intermediate lifters are like trying to get 1,000 pounds. So like deadlift plus bench plus squat equaling 1,000 pounds. And breaking 1,000 ChessCom, or excuse me, 1,000 dojo might be kind of similar. Like, you know, 1,000, but when you reach 1,000, you have a pretty good grip on the board. You're not hanging stuff nearly as much. You have a sense of what development is, you know? Like, I'm not part of that 1,000 lifting club. I might get there someday as an old man, but I'm not there. And so that would maybe be, maybe, I was wondering if that's an equivalence. You'd have to do some like stats and stuff to figure it out. But like, is 1,000 in the dojo, which is about 1,250 ChessCom, is that equivalent to the 1,000 lifting club? Anyways, here we go. Doom Duck, congratulations. This is great. We're going to have a ceremony here, Doom Duck. Got his goals figured out here. That looks great. And we got, let's just go hours worked and see how this looks. Oh, yeah, look at that, dude. Look at that. So doing a lot of work. We're going to look at what the non-chess work was earlier, but Doom Duck kind of stopped doing that. About when the cold weather hit, he stopped doing that white stuff over there. All right. So here we go. Looking good. Tactics is looking great. This is obviously a beautiful thing. Okay. Clubs. Tolt Improver. Aus Deutschland. Good. It'd be cool if you had a local club, man. Put that in there, Doom Duck. All right. So, activity. That's looking really good. And we want to do the last one here. Excuse me, it'll be this one. Right? I'm going to get rid of that one. So, Doom. Darn it. Oh, I'm trying to get rid of that one. How do I? Oh, I can't do it. There it is. Okay, so 30 points. That's pretty fast, Doom Duck. Pretty fast that you did this. Okay, so this is looking great. Games. And here we have Charognage. Boom. I like to think of this as a ceremony. I'm into it, you know. I might get myself some matcha ceremonial grade tea or something while I'm doing this and conduct the ceremony, you know, especially if I got a gift that said, welcome to the dojo, or somebody screamed lightweight. That would make the ceremony even better. Alex says that 1,000 club and lifting is about 1,500 USCF. Okay, that makes sense to me. So that would be like our 13 to 14 cohort. All right, here we go. So, mark reviewed. And we have times. Oh, here we go. The Doom Duck is playing a chump who doesn't know. They don't know that they're not playing a blitz game. So, we definitely want destruction for Charognage here. All right, game review. All right, so here we go. All right, fine. Good. Now this move, knight takes d4, is a minor mistake because now they're helping our queen develop, right? And then you say clear advantage for white. I'm with you. I think white is a great position. Knight f6, bishop d3. It's got to be okay. Castles, castles. h6, poor, not developing. We get, though, this is one of the cool things about when we develop, that now black is concerned about bishop g5. And I get it. It's a little, it's, you know, like let's say you play d6. Of course, bishop g5, that's going to be a scary looking pin. So instead, this is like, in a lot of ways, a bigger compromise with h6. So you played rook e1. I really like this move. And what I will say about that move is that what we're trying to do is dislodge the knight from being a developed piece, really. Yeah, and we're going to open up this bishop. Because after rook e1, it's not a bad move, but d6, the guy can at least stop e5. Good move. It should be e6. Rook e3. Yeah, all right. I agree. I don't like it much either. But there's reasons to think maybe it's not too poorly intentioned. Let's read what you write. I felt the urge to attack due to my lead in time. And he means time in development. Therefore, I lifted the rook to swing it to g3. In the analysis, I found knight h5. And that would have stopped my attack immediately. Retrospective, I think rook e3 was a mistake because I allowed black to trade pieces and catch up in development. Yeah, as a default move, I definitely like rook a d1. I mean, it's just a joy to play. Yeah. Notice too that it's very difficult for black to even do anything, you know, because queen's uncomfortable. Queen's just a little bit uncomfortable about where she wants to land in life. Okay, so rook e3. By the way, this kind of mistake is, let's call it a higher level mistake, right? Like this is something maybe an 1800 could call a mistake. But for this level, it's not bad. And honestly, on knight h5, bishop g3, I still like your position a lot. You know, you're still doing great. You have the lead in development. Okay, so d5. And now you really want to hurt this person, and you played rook g3. Now this one really does scare me because what about knight h5 now? All right, they don't see the threat. de4, boom, good move. And now knight h5. Ooh, welcome to the dojo, buddy. Welcome to the dojo. He writes it out, dude. He writes it out. Valgra, good to see you, man. Thank you for being here. So, king h8. Welcome to the dojo. Okay, rook f7 is indeed even better. And the thing to see here, well, you're crushing this fool. You're just crushing this fool. Good move. Oh, it's not going to work out for you, is it, buddy? Boom. There it is. They just going to give all the coconuts. Dang! Welcome to the dojo and welcome to 1000. That, in terms of a ceremony, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that is a great ceremonial game to make it. You know, you beat him on development, you beat him on tactics, you know, and you beat him on use of the clock. This person wasn't thinking at all. Yeah. Okay. So, Doom Duck, that sounds pretty good, actually, what you're saying. All right, let's continue. Congratulations, Doom Duck, that was well done. Ultra Slarkin graduates again. And I think, let me read first what Ultra Slarkin says. Spent a lot of times on games and analysis with some tactics. Also spent time watching U.S. Chess School Helston lectures, better than Netflix. I also still play some Rapid for fun, but typically don't log that. Please review my game against NJ. Although I won, there are plenty of mistakes and lessons to be learned. All right, I'll just clip this bad boy for a second. And then we're going to go click on Ultra Slarkin. So, all right. Looking pretty good. And also in the 1000+ club. Yeah, got a USCF. Encourage you to, at some point, shift over to that. Reasonable tactics rating. It'll be good, to, especially like these two. It'd be good for you to try it out. We have basically measures of what you need to achieve to get like your cohort's average, right? So the average, it would be, the number we have there for both the Puzzle Rush 5-minute and the Survival is the average of the cohort above you. So we're saying if you hit that average of the cohort above you, you know, you're getting there. All right, beautiful. Clubs, Indiana, Lee Chess, great. And I know he's got a game for me. In fact, there's the NJ. I don't need to go anywhere for it. We're just going to click it. Bang. All right. Actual time control is 60, delay 10. It's funny, for a second I thought it said adult time control. I was like, okay. All right. So, local club, this is great. 13-year-old student. All right. Time graph, we do have a time graph, and that looks good. One of the things, talking about projects, a project I want to do, maybe somebody can help me with this, is I want to be able to compare the times of players, how they use their time in an over-the-board situation versus an online. So what I have seen in the graduation show is that online games are simply played, you get many more of these graphs where somebody's not thinking at all. So I'm convinced that that's the case, but I want to quantify it, and I want to quantify it by cohort. And the main point would be a little bit intellectually interesting, but also just to show people, when you are online, this could be a finding that's more important than just chess. When you are online, you're not thinking, or it's much more difficult to do deep thinking when you're online. All right, here we go. This is El Gamo Reviewo. And here we go. Never faced English. As long as you make developing moves, you're going to be fine. Weird. Fine. 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 A little weird. Okay, a little weird. I want you to develop your pieces first. Good. Poor because they're not developing. Now d4 would hurt them, I think. Bishop b7. Notice like d4, yeah, I mean, you're just hurting them. You could also play knight takes d4 here too. But all right, bishop b7, you're developing. Okay. Okay. Good move out by your opponent. Rook a d8. Now, this is fine. If I was going to move a rook, it'd be this guy, because this one wants this square. Okay. Little weird. I don't know if I get it. Good move. 95. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Good. I think that's fine. Queen d3. And you were like, I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to take that thing. Okay. And now d4 looks like a good move. Good move. Snip, snap. Okay, let me just say, I think it would have been better to keep, it was better to keep the tension with this move. Now he can't go here, for example. He has to go somewhere else. And similarly, I would want you to take first, because now he gets out of dodge. And it's important to see here, as a basic question, is your pawn a hero or a loser on d4? And if it gets blockaded, it's going to be a loser. And really, the white king wants to get in there. And so he's close, so I'm a little worried. Okay. Okay. Rook e4, a little weird. I would prefer f4 or king f3 if I was white. Doesn't make any sense. I'd prefer f4 or king f3. Okay. Frisky. I felt this was a huge mistake in the game. Bishop c3 will win the pawn, and I don't have the time to fix it. All right, good. Notice what you need here is a way to activate your pieces. In particular, Mr. King over there needs some help. So king f8 comes to mind. a5 also might come to mind, just to soften him up over here a little bit. Okay. f6. Okay. e6. e6 is the most ambitious move, but that pawn might also go at some point. Like, we want now to put your king on e7. d6, I like king f8 better. Okay, now now the coconuts are falling. I think an interesting question here would be snip. So, snip, snop, snook, snark, and snock. And can you win the pawn? I think you can. I think you can. All right, so rook d3. Bishop takes f6. Good. That would be what I would be worried about. Rook e2. Rook c8 looks strong. I need king assistance to take the pawn. Well, if you need king assistance, we should consider bishop f d8 in here. Good move, bishop e5. If rook e6, he's got bishop takes g7. Now, look, white doesn't have a plan, though. Bishop e5 is a nice tactic, but he doesn't have a plan. The man needs a plan. Good. And now, very important what you're doing. You bring your king in. Good. Now, big question. Can you take the pawn? If you can't, then your move, rook c4, is definitely the best move. So this would be a good opportunity to analyze it out. Does the pawn endgame here lose? My guess is it does, but I'm not certain. So that would be something to do in your annotations. Good. I don't know what it's doing. Here, f4 looks very reasonable for you to split him. Okay. Now it seems like both players don't. Oh, now that's scary. Mistake. This just allows white to get into a better position. All right, here we go. It's going to get hot. One of the things we've seen on other grad shows too is you got to be super careful about going into the pawn endgame, because the pawn endgame is something that can be calculated out, and you might just be losing on the spot. I think here too. G4. Yeah, king f4. Very nice analysis. King f6, e7 snip, and snap. Game over. Good analysis. All right. So g4, mistake. H takes. Good move. King takes. Good move. King f6. Good move. King g6. Good move. And now did you find it? You did, buddy. Nice. Welcome to the dojo. Well done. Okay. So, Okra, nice point. Absolutely true about having a real person in front of you. Now, let me just go somewhere. I had somebody mentioning that I missed their game last week. So let me just, give me a second here. It was like a sensei question. Oh, crap. Can you even find the sensei questions? Where is it, buddy? Here, sensei question. Sherbs. So Sherbs said, hey, Kraai, dude, you missed me last week. So let's go do Sherbs, and we'll be out of here. So scoreboard, search users. Sherbs. There's Ben Hedges, a.k.a. Sherbs. And we're going to check Sherbs out. So Jacques Mises says, it is bad enough to get run over, but to get run over by a corpse is horrible. Oh, this is Why Has Been Talking. Cool. Well, I'm pretty sure Why Has Been Talking was in the Twitch chat not too long ago. Join the beta test launched in April 22, officially joined in July. Right. Great. Despite that, only now in 2025, dedicating myself to the program. As you can see, dude is on it every day now over here. So that looks great. Got up to 1070s. Maybe he hit that graduation and then fell just a touch. Has done some of this. High tactics rating. Definitely a high tactics rating over here. And so let's take a look around. Clubs. Chicago, great. The Heat Map Heroes. This is a club that's gaining traction. All right. So, activity. And dude has done a lot. And we want to look at this cohort. And you can see lots of games and analysis, a little bit of tactics. We'd want to see maybe a little more tactics in there. But it is good that we have some games. Oh, we have Ben Hedges against Fabi, a 3-0 game. I'm going to skip that one. For a ceremonial game, though, it's not too bad. All right, I'm going to choose this one over here because it looks like a OTB game. So let's click on this one. All right. So we do have some clock times here, as you can see. That's a very respectable graph by both players. So, in this game, playing the elder brother of my round 1 opponent. I'm going to use this emoji to indicate something. Excuse me, hold on, let me go back. This emoji I looked at during the game to indicate something I looked at during the game, and this emoji to indicate when the line reaches the end of what I saw. This for when I'm out of book. Note to Benny. Book in this case just means I'm making this moves for the first time without a recent game to refer back to my mental Rolodex too. Okay, so here we go. Good, fine, a little funky, right? Okay, good, fine, 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 a little funky. Says this is a good move for white. Now, what you're going to get, though, is now a position where, well, he's lost the tempo. Yeah. And you play the friskiest move, which I think is correct. And you play knight g4. Good move. d5. Now we're going to snip on e3. Good. And knight e5. Great. So what we want to say here is that you have a very nice positional advantage. And I think a challenge for some players is just to appreciate how powerful the control of this square and this beast is. Very tough to deal with. You talk about queen d2. White plays h3 because they're terrified of knight g4. All right, now we want you to play something like bishop d7. Let's see what you do. Fine. Let's play bishop d7. Fine. A little weird. I don't know where they're going. Queen b6. I would have preferred here rook b8. Your moves are fine. Rook c8. I don't know what you're going to do. You want to play c4. Okay. Why? Why do we want to put that pawn there? I don't know. I don't know where he's going. I don't think he does either. c4. Now you're getting frisky. Just because we are now giving him the coconut on e7, which will hurt our structure. Yeah. So it seems like they can take on e7. Now, the point to see that I would want to say is you're so much better structurally here that I don't want to ever allow him to do anything. So the simple move would be knight f3, see which way he takes, maybe bishop f6 after that, right? And what you're going to need is, you do need to create something over here, some organizing of b5, I think is what we want to do. So they don't take on e7, and they go passive. Okay, now again, you have maintained your advantage. f5, frisky. Black was very proud of this move, although it was played quickly. It was what the position was building up to for white. Okay, I kind of like it. You want to open the position up for the bishops. a5, you keep it on. Okay, this is fun what you're doing. Good. Okay, now we need a good move. Rook cf8. Okay. Knight a4. And now rook takes f3. Boom. Oh, this is exciting. This is great. Sherbs, buddy. By the way, Sherbs did not say pick this game. I just picked this because it was a game that was played at a longer time control. But this is well done. And it's what's nice about it too, and you can see it's a slightly higher level game than the ones we've looked at, a much higher level game than the ones we've looked at in the under 1,000 grad shows, in that we have a strategic failing of white, but he's not hanging pieces, but it's a strategic failing, and now we're really going to get a full, like white's abandoning the center, and we're just like, no, buddy, can't play chess like that, buddy. I'm going to raid you over here. Rook d1, look at this move. Bang! Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Look at those bishops, man. Knight b6. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Oh, beautiful. Oh, so nasty. Now, here's a nice variation. Here, whack. Oh, no. So, rook over, check to the miserable king. That's a good move. That ain't it. I don't know. I think he's gone, though. Check. Almost mate. Ah, that's great, dude. This is where we need that gift. Welcome to the dojo. Look at those bishops. So strategic domination. They didn't know how to play chess, and they got whacked. All right. So, my friends, that was great. I will be back tomorrow to do more ceremonies for the Over 1000 Club.